Hey, welcome everybody, Extract Talks. Today we are going to do some fun stuff, but before we get started, I ask that you'd click the like button, also the subscribe button, so that you would get notified when we put out new content. This year is going to be a tremendous year for new content, so I think you should probably join in. We're going to hit all the key topics, all the hot topics that you guys want to hear about, and they have to do with processing, that have to do with new products, clinical uses, all those things. And so go ahead, push that subscribe button, push that like button, and join in. We get lots of interesting calls. I had a call last week with a guy, and I had mentioned certain things about myself that I liked. He said, "Oh yeah, I know you like that." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I watched all your podcasts." Yeah. That's great. He called up because he had a whole bunch of questions about how to do something, and we were helping him out. Anyway, he's going to be here on Monday.
Where from?
Texas, okay. The great state of Texas. So.
Another visitor from Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
Excellent.
Texas is a whole nother country. For those of you who are international audiences, you have the United States and you have Texas.
That's true.
The
People's Republic of Texas.
That's right. So today we got a great topic.
We want to talk about flavonoids.
I love them.
Flavonoids, obviously, a very important component of cannabis.
Yeah.
Flavonoids are by no means specific to cannabis. In fact, they're in all plant life.
So what are they?
Well, Dr. Jon, I'll give you my caveman explanation. It's a
booga.
A phytochemical produced pretty much in all plants. I guess it gives the plant matter their color in addition to carotenoids and chlorophylls.
Yep.
But yeah, so a lot of the purple, red, blue in nature.
Purple haze.
Purple haze, exactly, and flowers of all kinds.
What about the yellow?
Cannabis included.
Yellow stuff that comes out of like the color of great high quality distillate. Would that also be that could
I would
be a part
imagine it, at least in part, as a result of flavonoids. Right. In fact, flavonoids, do you know where the word comes from?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, it's Latin, of course, but
Flavus,
yes. Flavus.
Oh, wait, flav. I just
yellow.
Oh,
okay. It means yellow.
Okay.
So when you talked about the
yellow
distillate, it reminded me of that.
Yeah, okay, Flavus incus.
So we talk about terpenes.
Dominguez.
Yeah, we talk about terpenes all the time and their impact on at least in cannabis, the entourage effect of all of the
flavonoids are part of that, right?
Exactly. Well, they're not discussed as often as terpenes. I'm sure you would agree.
Yeah, they have a taste. They have colors. They're used as natural colors too, right? I think you have like some of the flavonoids obviously are isolated, and then they're isolated from things like apple peels and things like that, or other grapes, grape sources. And then they're used as natural colors. That's great, rather than the synthetic colors.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point in time, we're gonna have to stop eating synthetic colors, synthetic flavors, synthetic. Speaking of the synthetic stuff, a lot of the large companies that are out there right now are trying to do the whole bait and switch. I think it's bait and switch. It's actually kind of a little bit of a marketing play. Like if you saw something on a package and it said natural, what would you think? Would you think that it was synthesized with an enzyme in a bio bag? No, because that's not really natural, because that doesn't occur. But okay, since they're using like a natural source, like they derive a feedstock from corn or something like that, then now somehow it's natural. They're doing the same thing with these flavonoids too, and they're we did a project one time with taking flavonoids out of like yeast, for example. They were being beneficiated and get it into yeast. So anyway. Yeah.
Interesting.
What do you, I don't know, you kind of research this up a little bit. What kind of, if you have like purple haze or something like that, or just with a plant that looks like purpley, right? That kind of looks really cool.
Yeah.
How much of the plant is those flavonoids? I mean, is it a significant portion?
All plant matter, I'm not sure, but cannabis specific, I believe it's somewhere around the 2.5% of the.
See, that's a lot.
It's not of the dry weight. I believe it's it's a very small amount.
Well, that is kind of a lot.
It's a very small amount because I think it's of the terpenes and flavonoids. They're always grouped into one.
Yeah. Well, the terpenes are, if you had 5% terpenes, that would be a lot, right? Yeah, out of a plant. I mean, you're talking about 2%, 3% by weight, right? I mean, so 2.5%, that's a lot. I guess it's interesting. Are they, Are they volatile? How are they typically got out of the plant? You extract them, or I think they would be extractable because they would come out with the
correct.
They come out with the extract, obviously,
Exactly.
right? And they probably, I don't know what the vapor pressure of those are. Anybody got any clue on that? Are they
regarding extraction or pulling them out? Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but okay, so here's one thing you could do. I guess you could definitely take and beneficiate those, or extract them out. Try to maybe with molecular distillation, you may be able to extract them out. I'm sure there's lots of research going on in this.
Well, yeah. So speaking of the percentage of the dry weight, according to our friends in Spain, it's 2.5% of the dry weight.
2.5
are flavonoids. So that is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I guess
it's about. I mean, you mentioned the 5% for terpenes, but realistically, terpenes by dry weight is somewhere in that. If you have 2.5%,
yeah,
you're looking good.
Right.
So
I think those would be really high value too.
They are, yeah.
I bet you they wouldn't only be in the flower. They probably would also be in like the fan leaves and the other stuff too. So a lot of like the ingredients that come out of that are high value ingredients that come out of biobotanicals, they're typically in the 2 to 5% range, right? So that's the normal. Over the years, people have gone through breeding programs with cannabis plants to really make them produce a lot more per strain, right? That's how they've gotten so high. So you've heard the statement that the weed that was back in the 70s is not the same weed that is available today. And that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
All natural, of course.
All natural, yeah.
Well, naturally achieved.
Well, definitely. I mean, definitely directed evolution, I guess, if you will. So you're trying to take a certain compound in there and go through the strains and find out which strain will produce the greatest and then select that one out.
Yeah.
And then, so it's taken 40 years plus thousands of stoned intelligent actors to basically come up with a 25 to 30% THC plant, right? Yeah. So with some good flavonoid profile, right?
Well, you mentioned the high value flavonoids, or them being high value, and specifically with cannabis, there are cannabis specific flavonoids that are produced. They're creatively called cannaflavins.
Cannaflavins. Yeah. Oh, cool.
Cannaflavins A, B, and C.
Oh, they're actually molecules. They're actually specific, meaning unique flavonoids that are for cannabis only, and they're not in the other plants at all.
That is correct.
Oh,
and so in my research, there are plenty of examples of species specific flavonoids. I believe that's would apply here. But so
see, I didn't know that. That's something. I wonder why that would be. I mean, you think that you'd have all the machinery and everything that would create a list of the flavanols or the different classes of flavonoids, right? That are in the different molecules, like quercetin or quercetin, right? Quercetin.
I'm not even trying with pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean that is in pretty much every plant, and sometimes it's really concentrated in like apple peels. I know that, but you can also find it in cannabis.
Yep,
and you find it in pretty much any of the other areas. You got the reds, obviously.
The reds specific are thanks to the
cannaflavin
flavonoid anthocyanin.
Anthocyanin, yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a red. Yeah, which
is very common throughout.
Right.
Especially in flowers and fruits.
So there are 23 flavonoids, it says on that piece of paper there, that are in there. And it looks like you have cannaflavins, A, B, and C. What else you got in there? You got camphorol. That's interesting. It's kind of funny that every one of these, okay, just name one. Name a flavonoid for me. Just name one.
Epiginin.
Epididinin. Okay,
Apigenin.
Apigenin. No problem. It's an antidepressant. It's an antioxidant. It's probably got antiviral characteristics.
It's the cure for COVID.
It's the cure for everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it seems like all of these compounds have some sort of antibacterial or anti-whatever. So plants are good things generally 100%. To eat because your body chews it all up, absorbs the good stuff. Sometimes it absorbs the bad stuff too.
This other graphic regarding the nutritional or beneficial.
Oh yeah, there. See, it's got anti-cancer, antioxidant, anti-aggressive. Is that what that says? Anti-aggressive.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
In almost all of the flavonoid, you will find antioxidant.
Wait, just a second. So it's actually not because you're stoned. It's not because you're stoned at all. It's because of the flavonoid.
Yeah.
The cannaflavin A, actually.
See? It's healthy.
It's anti-aggressive.
It's a healthy alternative.
That's right. All right.
Help make healthy decisions.
I wonder how they did that. That's anti-aggressive. That means, okay, so that one's going to put you to sleep for sure.
Yeah. One of them on here I actually saw anti-humor.
Anti-humor.
I'm just joking.
Oh, you got me. Okay, that's good.
I feel like it would have
camphorol.
the adverse
Of course,
effect.
camphorol. Okay, like camphorous. Only
Yeah.
camphor. Yeah, so that's, and of course, camphor is an analgesic. We know that, right? So beta cicerol. I wonder if
Luteolin, neuroprotective.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Maybe we should take that stuff. Get smarter.
How about neurogenerative? That's what I'm looking for.
Neurogenerative. Yeah. Okay. Big brain.
Yeah, well.
Big brain.
Bigger.
Take the neurogeneration and grow a second brain. That's interesting. Yeah, oh, that's good. That's good. We put that into some items. Get big brain syndrome.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. I mean, a lot of health related reasons to continue to research and play with flavonoid derivatives.
Absolutely. What's kind of interesting, if you look at every one of the different types of flavonoids, you see that common structure, right?
Yep.
Where you have the
three ring.
Yeah, the C6, which is the benzene ring, really connected by some sort of C3 or C4. That C3, it looks like. So that's really kind of cool. They all kind of look the same. You can see that beta cisterol. That looks like a steroid, actually. Yeah, I'm surprised that's. I wonder what the difference is there. The flavonoids, I wonder, like isoprene units are really the common building block of, say, terpenes, right?
Yes.
So I wonder, we should count the carbons here. 1, 2, 3. I am literally counting the carbons. There's 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, anyways, whatever. I digress.
Yeah.
I digress, but I wonder if they're all if they're not multiples of 5, does that make them flavonoids versus terpenes?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Interesting.
But this is super weird too, because look at beta cisterol. Look at the structure of that and silymarin.
Yeah.
Versus all of the other structures.
Yeah.
Those are they're completely different.
Yeah, we'll have to bone up on the little bit on the chemistry of this stuff. I mean, it's really interesting. There's so much varied chemistry. Pretty much you need to study it and everything. That's really cool, though, how that gets what the biosynthetic pathways are, how they're being metabolized, why they're so great, and how they're being metabolized in the body. That would be kind of cool to know, right?
But these must be boiling point.
Not
582 C.
Oh wow, they're definitely not coming out in your molecular still. So they're basically going to be on
distillate.
Yeah, they're going to be
there
distillate.
You go.
Yeah. So
interesting.
You're maintaining
you answered our question.
Yeah, basically you're maintaining all those flavonoids in there. If they don't break down, I don't know what the stability of those are. There may be some breakage of that in the presence of oxygen.
Interesting.
Or there may be some reactions that are going on. Okay. They should also absorb. I mean, if they were in there at a very high concentration, you should be able to see them in the HPLC. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. We're going to continue this, going through some molecules. We'll probably bring more information to you on flavonoids over the course of the year. I'm sure we'll learn more about them. I'm going to really dig into the anthocyanins. I really think that's really awesome. And then we also have the natural color stuff that we're working on. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Maybe we can talk about that later on and maybe get to understand maybe some more about these cannaflavins or cannaflavinoids that are out there. That's kind of cool.
Cannflavins.
All right.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, guys. And you guys take care. Bye now.